Viewer discretion is advised. This content may contain language you may find unseemly by a character you might find confusing. Hello everyone and welcome to Ships and Stuff here on the Gunpla network. As always, I'm your host, The Spicer, and today we'll be departing from our usual ships focus and looking at the stuff of the universe. By that I mean, instead of taking a look at the diva from Gundam AGE, as we already did for the 10-year anniversary, we thought we would close out the 10-year anniversary of Gundam AGE by taking a look at the titular mobile suit in the Gundam AGE-1. Now, there are a lot of variants. We see technically, I think, 6 in animation, so that's a lot on its own, but there's about another 8 to 10 that we don't see in animation, so we've got a lot to cover. Plus, I happen to know an expert on the topic who's going to give us a rather colorful segment. Before we get into any of that, though, of course, a word from our sponsors. Side 7 Exports is sponsoring this episode of Ships and Stuff, and they are the absolute best place to find any P-Bandai or any Gundam-based exclusive release kit. Unless you're in Japan, these are already really hard to come by, so be sure to check out their vast catalog. They update it regularly. And when you're placing your order with them, don't forget to use the promo code GUNPLANetwork10 to save 10% off. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the world of Gundam AGE and why the Gundam AGE-1 has so many different variants, allow me just a minute to elaborate before we get to my guest. The Gundam AGE-1 and a lot of the technology in Gundam AGE that's used by the Earth Federation is based around this Gundam AGE device and the Gundam AGE builder. Basically, it's a combination of a really advanced 3D printer and the learning computer from the Gundam. All your combat data goes into the AGE device, which then relays that information to the AGE builder, which builds new equipment for you as you need it. Now, part of the limitation to this, if you will, is it really only applies to the Gundam themselves, so the Gundam AGE-1, AGE-2, AGE-3, and eventually the AGE FX, although it doesn't really see any extra equipment that I can remember. Now, the Gundam AGE-1 in animation has the Spallo, the Titus, its regular version. Then, after the fact, we see the Sordia as it transitions into Asemu's arc. Then we have the Flat, which doesn't have the AGE device, so it's just like a regular high-performance mobile suit. Then we have the Glanza, or the full Glanza at the end, where it is pretty much full armor and has a cool flight pack on the back. These are just the ones we see in animation. There are, like I said, quite a few more, but we'll focus on these at first, then I'll elaborate on the others in a minute. But I'll stop talking, let's get to our guest, who is none other than the one and only Flit Asuno.
So you want to know about Gundam AGE-1 Normal, and you want to know about the Diva, the AGE Builder. Don't worry, I'll take you on this journey. For my name is Flit Asuno, ex-rounder, boy genius, designer of the Gundam AGE-1 Normal. And yeah, there's a lot of things about the Gundam AGE that you might not know. First little bit of information is that it's fucking awesome. Alright? This is actually just a scaled down version. You know, the other one's massive. So, yeah, I absolutely love my design. My design of the Gundam AGE-1 Normal came from inspiration of my family. You know, they passed down their knowledge. It was actually my dead mother, but yeah, the family passed down their great knowledge of the Gundam, and I use those blueprints. I use that information to build a superior mobile suit. A superior mobile suit to combat the unidentified, to combat the Vegans. Now, the Genoases, they couldn't do anything. They had to look upon me, their savior, their boy wonder, to come and help them out. And with the AGE-1 Normal, I destroyed a shitload of Goffrans. You hear me? A shitload of Goffrans. And I didn't have much but some beam sabers. Alright? Later on though, we went ahead and got the blueprints ready, and the AGE builder built us what we call the Dodge rifle. And what's really cool about this Dodge rifle, right? It spins the beam so that way when it penetrates straight through the Gofrans, it's doing this. It's like a corkscrew, because they have like this beam like resilient coating. And I was like, Jesus Christ, how we're gonna get through this. But you know what? Because the AGE system built inside the chest reads the data from the battles, sends that to the Diva, sends that to old Gramps over there, and he's punching the numbers. You know, he's getting me my weapons prepared. Sends out that Dodge rifle, I shoot that beam, gaga! Takes down the Gofran. Everyone's like, oh my god! Gofran's over there just fleeting. You got Genoases over there shitting their pants. And they're like, we're not worthy. I know. I've been preparing for this my whole life, and I'm only 14 years old. Now, as time went on, you know, maybe a couple weeks, I don't really know the concept. I was just so busy, and I was indulged in my work that I needed to figure out how to beat, you know, the Vegans. So those little bastards, they bring their little dragon fatty over here, and he just comes over here, lolly-daddling. And you know what? My AGE-1 Normal, as beautiful as it is, it wasn't as effective. So I had to go ahead, send the data to the AGE builder, and lo and behold, it created this fat fuck, this beautiful, bulky, Arnold Schwarzenegger looking motherfucker, and we went ahead and just we won, baby. We goddamn won with not only the power of my genius, but we won with the power of just straight brutality. Once again, victor, savior, boy genius. Now some time passes by, and we meet up with this little shit called Diesel, whatever the fuck his name is, and that little. I hope I meet him in the future, because I'm gonna put the discipline in that boy. But anyways, he comes out of nowhere, right? He's just like, you know, playing the game, being all nice, playing these little mind games, with my heart. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here just being a civil. I'm trying to be a responsible 14-year-old. He's over here, his little ass just I'm gonna abduct your mobile suit. Steals my perfection, and I have to chase him down a goddamn Genoese. How embarrassing! Goddamn embarrassing. I can't believe it. Anyways, fast forward, right? He gets his own little mobile suit. You know what he gets? He gets a goddamn Zuda. And this is actually a beautiful machine. I'm not gonna fault them. They actually have pretty good taste in this one. And yeah, it's really good. It's a really good mobile suit. And he just whoops me. But you know, all the data I collected, right? I get my own mobile suit. I get my ninja. My perfection. The AGE-1 Spallo, right? We're going there with the Shigeru blade. They're like, damn, I never seen those moves like that. I'm in their ass, right? Look what they did to me. Look what they did to my boy. Goddamn urine. They took it from me. I was in love. I only knew her for maybe less than a month. Maybe that's probably 3 weeks at most. But I loved her, and I was gonna wife up. I was gonna wife her up. You know, we was gonna just lay down a bunch of little X-rounders. You know, because I know my son in the future will be an X-rounder. I feel it. I feel it. All right. I'm just settle with someone else, I guess. But They ruined my Spalo. You know, I could build more. I got the AGE builder. You know, I can just manufacture some more. But you know, it's like, metal's not cheap. You know, someone's got to pay for it, right? And I got Wolf over there, Wolfie looking motherfucker. You know, he's probably gonna try and steal my plans, create his own little white fucking mobile suit. I mean, it's probably gonna look good. His white customs do actually look pretty baller. But anyways, you know, it's just unfair how this whole scenario ended up. But I mean, what can you do? So I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future. I guess, you know, I'm definitely gonna have a son who's an X rounder, 100%. There's no room for error for that. And of course, my AGE is going to evolve. It's going to change. It's going to get better. You know, might put a little transformation gimmick. Who knows? And I'm definitely going to be the one to pilot it for a while. You know, I don't think I'm gonna let my son do it until he's a little bit older. But yeah, no future attack should ever happen either. I'm gonna go ahead and take control of the base. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the story. That's my story so far. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and yeah, enjoy yourselves.
What an honor to have Flit be a part of this episode. A rather expletive-filled honor, if you will. Flit continues to pilot the AGE-1 into his teenage years, seeing a whole host of new equipment. The first of which being the Gundam AGE-1R Razer, an advancement from the Spalo equipment before it. Adapting the Shigeru blade technology of the Spalo, the Razer features 4 much heavier, more durable blades that make this variant more powerful but much more difficult to control, meaning that this would not be an equipment set we would likely see on the future Adels. This is pretty much something only Flit can use effectively. This would be also the only non-animated AGE-1 variant to receive an exclusive high-grade conversion kit, turning the AGE-1 Normal into the AGE-1 Razer. The Razer comes to us from Mobile Suit Gundam AGE Unknown Soldiers, a side story largely focusing on the mobile suit variations of the advanced generation. Well, we don't have an exact order. We do see a lot of variants from other side stories and games before we'd see the Swordian animation in 141 AG. The first we'll take a look at is the AGE-1 BA Gundam Badlin. This variant comes to us from the Mobile Suit Gundam AGE Cosmic Drive / Universe Excel, 2 versions of what I'd assume to be pretty much the same game for the PSP. We'll never know, as no one really has a PSP anymore. The Badlin would be the first time a Gundam would use a bit-type weapon. However, it is worth mentioning that the legs on this are infinitely more chicken or goose looking than the tall goose. We would also have the AGE-1 ST Gundam AGE-1 Starks. This is another suit, and pretty much most of the rest of the suits we'll talk about come from Cosmic Drive or Universe Excel, but this particular unit has some purple color accents as well as a large beam lance and high-speed boosters mounted to the shoulders. So this is a very hit-and-run style tactic. Get in, hit your enemy really quick, and get out very quickly. It's not something I think would handle very well against a lot of combatants all at once. We also have the Gundam AGE-1 Arius, also from Cosmic Drive or Universe Excel. This is a dive and zoom tactic mobile suit that is much lighter and relies a lot less heavily on big thruster units to get those melee attacks in. It is covered in a lot of different blades, and I'm not 100% sure that these are developed from the Shigeru blade technology, but they're probably likely similar, as they are still a physical implement versus a beam weapon, and this would probably be like a precursor to what we would see with the G-Bouncer. We also have the Gundam AGE-1 Beaks, also from Cosmic Drive or Universal Excel, and this is kind of your semi-mid-range artillery piece with a rapid-fire machine gun type unit, and has still high maneuverability. Pretty much all of these are going to be high maneuverability, as that's just kind of the high performance of the Gundam, but it is nice to see a slight variation from the melee-centric units we've seen before. We also have the AGE-1 Belzerga, also from Cosmic Drive or Universe Excel, and this uses a beam disc rod for brutal melee combat, kind of similar to its predecessor in the Titus, but a slightly different variation and kind of maybe an advancement in how that technology is used. We also have the AGE-1 Baraka, also from Cosmic Drive or Universe Excel. It is a high-speed, much lighter weight unit that has Dod's Knuckles. It's very Boxer-esque, and I just love the idea of Dod's Knuckles. Like, we're getting away from beam weapons and just, let's put guns in our fist. That sounds very intriguing, and it is a very unique-looking mobile suit. We also have the AGE-1 Goliath from Cosmic Drive or Universe Excel. This is pretty much the only marginal, mainly defensive unit on this list, with the electromagnetic barrier, serving pretty much as a defensive unit with not a lot of offensive capability. This, I guess, was just a way to stave off large attacks from the enemy. It kind of reminds me of like the GN barrier style concept, I suppose, but just without all the extra cool stuff. We also have the AGE-1 Gratis from Cosmic Drive and Universe Excel. This looks just like a Gundam Zaku, and the AGE-1's design lends itself very well to the grunt suits of the Gundam Age Federation non-vegan style mobile suits. It's kind of the Amalda and the Gala parts, and it's painted up like a Zaku and just looks kind of like a Gundam Zaku. It's a nice little callback. We also have the Gundam AGE-1 Gundam, the Cosmic Drive and Excel, Universe Excel being the source material for this. This is actually the heavy artillery variant. This has battleship level weapons in the Gigant Blaster and Hyper Cannon. And, well, beam rifles are kind of nebulous in terms of their power in Age and a lot of other alternative Gundam universes. Battleship level does kind of make it feel quite a bit bigger. We also have the Gundam AGE-1 Magina from Cosmic Drive and Universe Excel. This is, oddly enough, kind of a slightly, maybe kind of middle ground between a lot of the melee-centric stuff we've seen. It does have a rod lance, but it also has a beam rifle, so it's kind of a little bit of both. It can maybe do close to mid-range, give itself a little bit more room to work with, but it is still a fairly unique and very cool-looking design. And then we also have the Gundam AGE-1 Warzus from Cosmic Drive and Universal Excel. This has a mirror shield, which is very unique. This is, I guess, probably the second defensive style unit, but it has the beam, or the solar ray beam, so it does have a pretty nice offensive option here. Very cool looking, kind of crazy. Now we get into what happens after the fact. Once Asemu has come into the world, Flit is an adult. Where is the AGE-1? In 141, we see teenage Asemu take up the AGE-1 in its Sortia configuration, having a much more knightly appearance, using what seems to be very similar technology to the Shigeru blade and a more traditional European longsword style weapon versus the very short knife-like weapon of the Spallo. This is pretty much the only time we see this, and I think it doesn't actually appear in the original animation, only in the Memories of Eden variant, which is pretty cool. This doesn't get a lot of play, unfortunately. It looks cool, very ceremonial looking, but not really an effective combat weapon, although Asemu does take down a couple of vacant suits. From there, since the Age device is removed from it and put into the Gundam AGE-2, we get the Gundam AGE-1 Flat. This is pretty much just the Gundam AGE-1 without the Age device, so it's not sending anything to the Age builder. It's not going to evolve from the Age builder anytime soon, but that doesn't mean the Federation doesn't try to push it a little further. The Flat is just the standard AGE-1 Normal, but we would see this unit evolve into the full armor, much like its kind of inspiration in the RX-78-2 Gundam Full Armor. This just has a bunch of guns and armor strapped to it, and it looks cool. There were also 2 units of this, one being piloted by Flit, and while this is still a very high performance machine, this is definitely not something like the Razer, where it's pretty much only Flit that can pilot it. So it is really cool to see the Gundam get a little bit of extra play. We don't see a lot of people pilot other Gundams, but it is cool that the assault jacket here is piloted by somebody else. Oddly enough, that is Largan Drance. This is a character you probably remember from the second Age arc, or the first Age arc, I suppose. But it is cool to see him here. piloted some Genuises, so it is nice to see a character we have seen not actually jump into it in animation, but it does happen to appear there. From there, we get a long time until the next upgrade, which would be the full Glanza unit, and this will appear with Kyo, pretty much late into Kyo's arc. But this is a flight unit that has some big guns on the back, as well as extra armor all over the AGE-1 Normal frame, and then you have two cool shields, beam saber, beam gun weapons on the forearms. Not a lot of this is stuff we've seen in any of the other variants, but it is something that feels very Federation improved versus the Age Builder improved. So it is cool to see it here and to see it off in one final really cool looking form. The AGE-1 is a very important mobile suit in terms of design and gimmicks. Although the series maybe wasn't the most popular, it did at least carry the torch for variable mobile suits like this until we got to something like the core Gundams of Gundam Build Divers Re-Rise. And while you may not be all that fond of those designs, I know a lot of people are, but if you're not, it does still have importance to Bandai in terms of the ability to make money off of different variants. While Bandai didn't print a lot of Gundam AGE-1 variants, it is still something they used for marketing for games and other things of that nature. Carrying this torch for the modular design for mobile suits was more than just the series. It was important to the manufacturing, the gimmicks of the toys and the model kits that would go on to be produced, and the designs that would come out for future shows. I am self-proclaimed to love Gundam AGE, and I think, while it does have its issues, is a series well worth watching, and it only felt right to send it out on a note like this, expressing our appreciation for the series and the titular mobile suit. If you have any questions about Gundam AGE or the AGE-1 or any of its crazy variants, please do leave a comment down below, and if you've enjoyed my or Crow's ramblings, please do leave a like and check out his channel over at TheKrowSama. As always, friends, I've been the Spicer here for the Gunpla Network. Please stay safe and keep on building.